Hello, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good day. And we are actually streaming off the FRANKIN here. And I will turn the camera around here so you can see here. We are actually off the FRANKIN here. So far so good. And we got that little video issue taken care of earlier this week. Or last week, I should say, rather. Or this week, excuse me. And so anyway, yeah. So let's see. It looks like we have Sad Mac and Eric Smith. Thank you for joining me. This basically is just a freestyle chat. Just something I just decided I want to do. If you guys had any questions you wanted to ask me. I'm kind of looking at both monitors. I'm looking at my Imac monitor, and it lags about 3 seconds behind. So that's why I'm looking at this monitor, because that way I can see it in real time here. So anyway, yeah, guys. So how's everybody doing? Good? So anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. So anyway, I'm going to show you what the issue was here. Okay. So I'm going to show you what the video cable looks like here. And just want to make sure I got my sound all the way off on this. And I hope my sound sounds okay. On my end, it looks like the video is coming through pretty good. And we have a sound check. Is the video video and audio coming okay through to you guys? We have a sound check. Is the video and audio coming okay to you guys? Okay. All right. Good. Thanks. All right. Just want to making sure that you can hear me okay, because I'm using the microphones on this webcam. Making sure that you can hear me okay, because I'm using microphones on this webcam. So anyway, I'm going to show you, this is the video cable that we took out of the FRANKIN here. Now this is the original one. This is the video cable that we took out of the FRANKIN. This is the original one. And the issue with it is, I'm going to hold it up here so you can see, but apparently the cable got kinked right there, that little spot right there where that little bend is right there. You can see it right there. I'll flip it over here, maybe you can see it a little better. But anyway, that was enough to cause that intermittent flashing of the display. So anyway, and I want to show you, these are HDMI connectors. And pardon me, I've got the cat here helping me. So anyway, these little clips right here. These little clips right here, that's what clamps down on the ribbon cable here. And you can see Smirky's right here. She's very, yeah, Smirk. Come on, Smarky. You're interfering with operations here, Smart. All right. A bit of echo? Okay. Okay, hopefully that takes care of the echo there. Just let me know. It takes a couple seconds for it to do its thing. You. Okay, so Smirky wanted to play with the ribbon cable there. So anyway, let me just get my keyboard out of the way here. There you go. So yeah, so we still have a little bit of the echo, or is that all gone now? Okay, good. All right, very good. Yeah, I had my volume up on this just a little bit too much. I turned the volume all the way off on it. So anyway, I don't know if you guys were watching Jay's stream yesterday, his 3+ hour stream on his yard with the tree and the bird bath and all that, or not bird bath, but the little thing hanging in the tree and stuff. That was his little experiment. Yes, that was pretty interesting, his yard stream. Bruce suggested he try that to see if he gets his watch hours up. Anyway, I'll get myself centered up in here. There we go. And so anyway, yeah, it was pretty interesting. I think we all should try that once in a while just to see what kind of results we get. Kind of depends on the subject matter. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, I will show you something here real quick. Here, I will show you my kitty cats here. They like to come up here upstairs. This is their room. So there's Frederica. Hi, Fred. Yeah, hi, Fred. You gonna say anything to everybody today, or are you just giving yourself a bath? Are you gonna be quiet today? All right. And then there's okay. And there's Reba. This is really hard to do this. So anyway, there's Smirky again. Smirky coming up. And there's Reba over there by the white rug there. She's the oldest. She's about 15 years old. She's one of our original kitties. And then the other 3 cats, I don't know where they're at. They'll be up here shortly if they're not already here. So anyway, let me just put this back over here. Thought you guys might like to see the kitties there. We have 6 total. We have Betty Cat, which she came with the house, and she's primarily an outdoor kitty, but she does, I always leave the garage door open for her, and I get all of her stuff set up, so she sleeps in there. And if it's cold, or a lot of times I'll just close the door at night. anyway, guys, so anything you want to talk about? I can kind of show you some things here, if you like. You can tell this is really well rehearsed. So something that I shared when we joined into JStream earlier this week, after we went off the air, we were all talking about a lot of different things. And so something that I showed Jay and everybody else, they really thought it was pretty cool. Because I like to, as I tell them, I've always been into modeling, real air control, aircraft, model building and stuff over the years. And I always like railroading and stuff like that. But I told them I've been working on something for like the last on and off 5 years. And I'll show you what I showed them. So if you guys like HO or model railroading or anything like that, this is something that I have been working on. Let me adjust the camera here so I can get you more in frame here. All right. So basically this is a brass kit. It all starts out as a flat piece of metal. Everything is etched and scribed, and basically what you have to do is you have to bend it, you have to solder it, and form it, and you got to use special tools to do that. And so anyway, it's it's pretty neat. Like I said, it's taken me 5 years to get at this point. It's by no means done. I did airbrush it a while back, but I'm not really happy with the paint job. So I'm basically going to remove all the paint. Just use toilet bowl cleaner. It's hydrochloric acid, and it'll eat all the paint off. It'll take it right back down to the brass, and it'll look like a shiny penny again. And it gets rid of all the burn marks and stuff from when you solder and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I got all the electronics to go in it and stuff. I'm just waiting to get it all painted up and everything, and then that'd be the last thing to go in it would be the lighting and the electronics and all that. But this is O scale, and so yeah. And I don't see my chat advancing here, so let me find out here. Let me refresh my browser here, because I'm not getting the chat here. Let's check here. All right. So anyway, yeah. So I don't see the chat moving here. It looks like it's frozen here. Let me just type something here. So I just typed a little message. Are you guys all still here? It shows me that there are 2 people watching now. Okay, good. All right. I just didn't make sure this thing froze up here. So anyway, yeah, so this is pretty cool. This is something that I just, work on in the winter time or whenever I have downtime. But it's pretty cool. It's, if you like this kind of stuff, it'll appeal to you. If you don't, it'll be very boring. But it's, everything works on this thing as far as like the suspension and everything. It's completely all articulated, which is nice. But it's like, when it starts out in a big box and you get it to this point, that's quite an accomplishment. So, yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to put this back over here. And then we actually are going to be putting up a couple videos here pretty soon here. One of them's actually going to be on this camera. And then basically I'm going to tell you about the camera. It's a 2K, but it switches back to 1080p 30 frame or 1080p 60 frame, depending on your internet connection. And I think right now we're only outputting 1080p. StreamYard does kind of put a cap on it, but you know, basically, the better your internet connection, the better the quality is on the camera. It's kind of like one of those things. And the reason why I went with this camera is it has a glass optics on it. It has zoom. You can zoom in, zoom out. Actually, let me do that real quick here. Hold on. Here. Okay. So you can zoom in on it here. Let's see here. So you can zoom in. We can zoom back out. You can go to manual focus, which is another reason I got it. It's on autofocus now, but it does have manual focus, which is really nice. So if you're, this is actually a streaming camera. So like if you stream video games or anything like that, this is the camera that's really more for that. But anyway, it's, and you can do, let's see if it'll do it here. This also will move up and down here too. Let me just see here. Let's see here. Well, usually it'll move a little bit. Oh well, anyway. But anyway, that's the remote for it right there. I think I paid like $56 for it. And there's lots of cameras out there. Now I do and can stream off my iPhone. I have Camo on it, and that's a free application, the basic one. But if you want to buy the year subscription, it opens up a lot of features, so you can adjust the white balance and everything on it. And really, there's really no webcam out there that's really going to equal like your phones, because they really have very good cameras in them. But this isn't bad, you know. It's a lot better than the other thing I have. And I like, this has a 90-degree angle, but it's not a fisheye lens. That's what I like about it. The other one I have is a 1080p, but it's a real cheap one, and it's just stuck at 1080p 30 frame. And it's just, I wanted something a little bit better. And like I said, the stream doesn't look too bad on my monitor here, so that's good. Now the audio, I'm actually working on that. I'm getting a different microphone for that, and we're going to go with a wireless setup, which I like that. That'll be pretty good. And yeah, but like I said, I'm always very busy. I always have a lot of projects going on, and I used to put a lot of videos up, but lately I just have had so much stuff going on in our lives. Our daughter's getting married here in October, doing stuff like that, and it's kind of encroaching on my production schedule. But we're going to be getting back into it a little bit. We're going to have some free time here. So actually I'm working on a video now, actually on this camera that you're looking through right now. But yeah, and this Frankin Mac is doing the stream quite nicely. I don't see any drop frames on it. It's doing pretty darn good. Like I said, especially since we replaced that HDMI cable, no problem. So yeah. And I don't know if you guys ever watch Retro Mac Cast. Kind of getting off topic here. I was watching that this morning. It comes on at 6 a.m. in the morning Pacific time, so that'll be earlier for you guys. But very interesting topics this morning on it. And of course, last week they had Macintosh Librarian on there. It was very interesting, her story, how she got into it. And how she created the character Mackie, and basically how she kind of does it, the special effects that she uses, the program she wrote to animate it and stuff. It was really very fascinating, very interesting. And for me, I like to do a lot of different things myself. I'm getting more into video, more special effect video, and I'm using some certain programs. That's how I animate Frederica, our cat. I've had her on a couple times during the intro, and I've been working on that to make things a little bit better for that too, a little bit more actual live action between her and me. So I've been working on that, so it should be pretty cool. But yeah, how's your guys' Sunday going? You guys doing anything exciting later today, or you've already different time zones? I know here it's 12:54. We're in Pacific time. Yeah, that's smart. Yep. And so anyway, the next mod that I'm going to be doing another mod on my G4 Cube. I've really modded a lot of things on that, and I'm just waiting to get some parts so we can do some other things with it. But also what we're going to do is I actually put a version of iMovie that is technically not supported for that machine, which will allow me to produce videos in 1080p. Also gives me the ability to upload on YouTube, but I've never tried it because we use 10.5 tube on that, and then 10.4 Fox. So I don't know how that's going to work. It might not let me upload it directly, but I'll be able to render videos a lot higher in quality. When we had the PowerPC challenge and the /68K challenge, I did a video on that over kitty cats, and that was a lot of fun doing on that because it's been a long time since I've did it on a very, very old version of iMovie, so I had to kind of relearn that a little bit there. But it was fun to do. And you're not doing a lot right now, Sad Mac? Okay, well, that's all right. It's Sunday. You're allowed to do that. Just take it easy. And we had 5 viewers there for a minute there. It kind of keeps going up and down. But yeah, like I said, this is just a dog and pony show today. All right, just stuff that you want to ramble about anything. I'll ramble about stuff. I know. I'll go into one topic to another. I know, like, it's been very, very hot out here. We're in a major drought. We hardly had any rain fall, and it's unfortunate. There's a lot of big fires burning now. Right now, the air quality looks beautiful out there right now, but the reservoirs are so low. I mean, they haven't been this low in a long time. And part of it too is a lot of these agencies that control these reservoirs, when we start getting rain and melt off, I think they have a knee-jerk reaction. They want to let all this water out right away, and I don't think they learned their lesson. If they would very tightly let it out slowly instead of a whole bunch, I think we'd be a little better shape. But like I said, because of the drought that we're going through, it's not going to be a good August or even September, because July, August, and September are really, and June are really hot months, and August is really probably one of the hottest months. But you can definitely tell the days are starting to get shorter now, and when we get into September, then we'll start getting more cooling down at night, so we get those really big temperature changes. And also September, sometimes we can get rain. It gets to be real flaky toward the end of September and October as well. Yeah. And I've been going to flea markets. I've been going to a lot of thrift stores, trying to find some more Apple stuff in general. I haven't had any luck lately. But a lot more of them are opening up, and here the cat's arguing over here. But anyway, so I haven't had any really success with that, but I'll keep on the lookout. And I do have a friend that does have a 20th anniversary Mac, and I've been kind of bugging him if he wants to sell it and stuff. That's the one that I got that torque bit to open the Mac up with. That's the one he used to use when he worked for Apple back in the day. And that thing had put a lot of machines together and taken a lot of them apart. And so, but he's not really anxious to sell it. He keeps that, but I mean, it's like brand new. It spent most of its time in the box, but it's probably one of the menace looking 20th anniversary Macs I've seen in a long time. I used to have one, and I really regret selling it. But I went through a period of my life where we were kind of downsizing and stuff, and so I had a lot of computers. Nothing like Steve or Greg Rucke, but anyway, I sold most of them. I kept a few of them, and that's one thing I wish I hadn't sold was that 20th anniversary Mac. I had that thing as modded as about as much as you could. And I even was able to run the very, very first version of OS on it, Puma. And although painfully slow, it ran it, even though it was never made to run it. But we had they offered a G3 and G4 processor upgrade net by Sonnet, and I was fortunate enough to find the G4 upgrade for that. And it goes right into the back of there's a slot there, back into the cache slot back there. And that thing made a huge difference. I mean, OS 9 just flew, and that would be the only way that it could boot up on OS 10, because natively it didn't support OS 10. You had to do some hacks to make it work. But with that processor, you can make it loaded up there. Even though a lot of people said, don't do anything. You don't want to put that on there because you could damage the firmware on the machine. Because a lot of times when you do these upgrades, it's going to ask you if it's going to take you to you need to update the firmware, and that's one part you don't want to do, because if you update the firmware, it'll rewrite the firmware and it won't boot up at all. It won't even boot up into OS 9 or even System 8. So, like I said, it had USB on it, and it was very nice. It was pretty neat looking. It was very, very, very forward thinking design. Still is today. I think it is. It's just like with the G4 Cube. Very, very forward thinking design. And I think powers that be, if they had vision and knew what was I think they would have changed a few things on it to make it a little bit more, more up to date at that time. But that's the nice thing about some of these older Apple products. There were a lot of upgrade cards, video card upgrades. Like I have a upgraded video card in it, and it's the biggest that you can put in it, and it makes a huge difference on the graphics. You can play games at full res that were native on that thing, which is great. It plays very buttery smooth. But it's it's just one of those things where I like to mod things, and like I said, I see Steve's video on that Raspberry SCSI emulator. That looks pretty neat. And also Sean did a video on his too. And I even told them that you're kind of forcing me getting back into the 68K Mac, so I might have to get one of these days and put one of those emulators in it. But anyway, yeah. And I plan on this fall getting a new iMac. The one I have now is the late 2013/14 14 iMac. This one was actually manufactured in 2014. And this one is the 27-inch. It works great. It has an i5 quad-core processor in it, and it works okay. But you know, I'm wanting to upgrade. I just want something that's got more graphics capability. Now I do have a Mac Pro down underneath the desk here, and that thing got lots of horsepower. And we did several weeks ago, we did an open core install. I did a stream on that, and the guys from Mac Yak and all of them, they helped me get it on there, so that was great. And I have used it, and wow, it is really, really zippy. I have just a spinner drive in it right now. I did have a couple SSDs in it, but I needed them for storage. That's my other issue that I have. I have to come up with either a NAS system or a big hard drive system. Kind of want something actually that I could remote into it, whether it be wireless or cabled, and that way I can keep music and videos and all that stuff on there, because it hogs up all my space on the computers. Especially my wife, she loves to take photos, and you know, when we got our iPhones, we have the 7 Pluses. At that time, I got the biggest drive we could get. They're 256 gig models. And I said, that'll keep you. She's already filled that thing up twice. So I've had to download all the information off of it, all the photos onto another drive. And the extra drive that I have on my iMac here, it has all of her photos on it. So that's another reason why I need to get a external storage device so we can keep all that stuff. And plus, over the years, I've scanned pictures in too, because you know, photos don't last forever. Negatives don't last forever either. So do it digitally; they'll last for a long time. Yeah. So, Sadmac, you have cats, right? How many you got? Okay, back. Just one currently. Just one. Just one kitty currently. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, I thought you had a cat. It's kind of funny. A lot of people that have Macs that like Apple computers, it seems like all of them have cats. I mean, we have a little dog too. She's a little tiny deerhead chihuahua. The cats are bigger than her, and she likes to sleep a lot. She's been through some surgeries lately. Reba. Hold on, Reba. There we go. There you go, Reba. Yep. And my cat Reba's up here. Hi, Reba. Yeah. She's one of the last of our original kitties. Her brother Nick died a couple years ago, and Reba, she's very healthy, and she's very lovey, and when we foster kitties, she's shedding like crazy here too. When we foster kitties, she always helps take care of them. She'll wash them. She gets very concerned. She makes sure that they're eating, and she even teaches them how to go to the litter box, which is pretty neat. Huh, Reba? Yeah. Huh, Reba? Yeah, let me move this over there. Yep. Let me move this out of the way, Reba. I don't want you touching anything here, Reba. Okay. Yeah, okay, there you go, baby. Yeah, just lay there, honey. There you go. All right. Yeah, you just lay there. Just relax. Just relax. Yep. Oh, Reba. Yeah, you good kitty. Yeah. And then the other project, Mac related, that I have been working on for a long time. And I'm going to move the camera here so you can see it. Sorry. Okay, Reba. All right, so this is my Imac slot loader. It's a G3, and I got this thing several years ago, and I'm sure you know DOS Dude, Colin. And so anyway, the story to this is I asked Colin, can we upgrade the board in this to an actual G4 processor? And I had two of these Ruby iMacs. And he says, well, I have to see the boards. It depends on the chipset, because they made a couple revisions of this. And so luckily I had the one that we could do the revision on it. So anyway, I sent him the board. And this has been over almost a year and a half ago. So I sent him the board. He put the G4 chip on it. He sent it back to me. And that's on my video playlist, by the way, the whole saga of this thing. And so we put the G4 board in it. We booted it up. Now I booted it up off camera, and the thing worked. You go about this Mac, it says G4 processor at 550 megahertz. This one's at 400 megahertz machine, because I wanted him to clock it as much as he think he could do it. And he says, well, 550 is about as much as we're going to be able to do without having any issues. Now I also installed a cooling fan in this, and it makes a huge difference. It helps move the heat up through the case there. So anyway, it worked for about 2 minutes. I turned it off because I was going to start shooting a video on it, and the screen was blank. It would go boot, and you could hear the drive accessing, but no video. I even tried the external monitor, no video. So I took the board out again, and I put the old board back in it. Thought, well, maybe something wrong with the Mac, and it boots right up, no problem. So then I put that G4 board back in it, and hi, Frederick Rayner. And I put the G4 board back in it, and I do the same thing. No video. And I'm sorry I'm moving here, guys. I'm petting the kitty here. I'm going to try to hold this here a little steady here. And so anyway, so I got in contact with Colin, and he said, okay, well, send it back to me. And, you know, maybe it got too hot or something. So I sent it back. And he asked me, did you put thermal paste? I guess, of course. You have to. These things will fry it. And so anyway, I sent it back to him. He put another G4 processor on it and got it back again, put it back in there, and same thing, no video out. It goes through the bong. You can hear the drive access. You get USB. The USB works on it, but no video. So I sent it back to him again. So then what I did is I sent him my other Ruby iMac. Now I took all the covers off of it because there's no There was no inner bezel on the one that I sent him. It was just a bare bones frame. And so anyway, if you look, there's the bottom for that one, and then the other ruby one that I sent him. And then here's the ruby case for the other one. So I sent it to Colin because he said, you're looking at the collar case for Imac Slot-Low G3. That's what you're looking at. So anyway, so I sent it to him, and I had everything was all in it, and I left the board that he modified in there. So anyway, basically, yes, Reva. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by my cat. Sorry. So anyway, I sent it back to him and sent him the iMac, and so I keep pestering him. About every 3 months, I'll say, "Hey, have you had any luck with it? Have you tried?" He goes, "Well, he's been really busy. He just finished college not too long ago, and so." But anyway, so I'm just waiting for him to get that board back to me because he said he really couldn't test it without an actual iMac. So that's why I sent it to him. I told him just keep it. I said, if you ever want the covers, let me know. I'll send them to you. But anyway, so that's what we're looking at. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to put this back over here. So there we go. All right. And let me just turn my microphone down just a little bit. I think it's over modulating a little bit here. There we go. All right. So that should be a little better there. And I'm sorry I haven't been looking at the chat here. Geek with Social Skills, thank you. And again, Frederick Rayner, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. And of course, Sad Mac, thank you very, very much. And Eric Smith, thank you very much for showing up. And yeah, so that's my ongoing project with that. I really want to get the G4 on it because Colin gave me a version of Leopard that will run on this, which it's already got an SSD in it, and it has 3 partitions. It has Leopard, Tiger, and OS 9.2 on it. And so my goal is to run Leopard on it. And I know that that's really going to be a stretch for this thing because Leopard, technically, you have to have at least an 880 megahertz machine, but there is a way you trick it. You have to go in the terminal. But Colin gave me a different image of one that he can run other stuff on it there. But yeah. And so anyway, yeah, I'm just looking at the chat here. Sorry, I'm just watching you guys talk. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just been waiting very patiently to get that board back. I just really want to get that thing because I want to get the bottom put on that thing. Poor thing, the bottom's been off of it for a year and a half. It's hanging up on the wall there. But the thing runs beautifully. I mean, it runs really nice. It's works very nicely. So anyway, yeah, actually, let me power it up. I haven't have it turned on for a while. Let me power it up here. Okay, hold on. I need to put the power to it here. All right. get our keyboard hooked up to it here. All right, we'll get our mouse hooked up to it here. Got all kinds of stuff laying around here, let me tell you. So, anyway, I'll show you here. I don't know how this is going to look here. Of course, the screen's going to flicker because of the refresh rate. I cannot talk at all today. I'm sorry. But it works quite nicely. It's running currently at 400 megahertz. Now, the other thing too on this is, let me see if I can adjust the refresh rate on this thing. Go to I got to get the mouse here where to work here. Hang on just a second here. Let's go to displays here. Let's see what we do here. No, it looks better the other way. Let's do it the other way here. There we go, 95 hertz. All right. No, we'll go back here. Okay, this is the one we'll keep it at here. This is the one I usually keep it at anyway. You can see right there it says 450 megahertz, power PC, 1 gig of RAM, and we got Tiger on it. Hey, hi, iCycle Apple Mac. Recycle Apple Macs. How you doing, buddy? So anyway, yeah. So and this is the one. Also, this is the one that I repaired the inner bezel on, because this was really cracked up. Come on, pop up here. There we go. All right. There we go. So this is the one that I fixed the bezel on. I did a lot of acetone on it. Doesn't look too bad. And that's how you mend it up. You can use acetone on this ABS plastic. And that's how you get it fixed up there. And even on the inside, there were some screws broken on it and stuff. So I'll put this on here. There we go. And again, I just lay that there. I'm just waiting to get that board back so I can get this thing all together. But the other thing that I'm doing on this is I don't have an optical drive in here at the moment. And the reason is because I'm waiting to get that board back so I can put a more modern hard drive in this thing. And I actually have one out of an iMac, and I got it to work on this. when I had the other board on it, doesn't work so good on this board because, like I said, the other board's got a different chipset on it. But anyway, yeah, so my goal is to, once I get that processor upgrade, I will have a modded optical drive in it, and it'll be a super drive in it out of an older iMac. It does work. There is, the voltage is a little different on some things there. And if I stop moving this thing, it will focus here. So let me just put this thing, there we go. Yeah, I know. That's the thing with these older Macs. The refresh rate isn't so great on them because of the CRT. So yeah. So sorry you're getting nauseated. It makes me nauseated too. I mean, the human eye, it looks fine. But anyway. But anyway, yeah. So it's just, like I said, it's an ongoing project. I just would like to get the thing done. But I have to be patient. And when when Action Retro gets, I'm sorry, my God, when Colin gets done, DOS Dude, we'll put the board in it, and obviously we will do a video on that, and that'll be great. That's my other big project. Yeah, I know. That's my bad thing about the older CRT is that with the digital cameras, the refresh rate's not synced up with it. Does make it a little stroby there for sure. And of course, then my latest acquisition is the Imac G5. It's the EyeSight model. It is the last version of that before they came out with the Intel chip. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. You actually. Oh, wow. Recycle. You got another G3 coming. Great. Nice. Yeah. And yeah, I'm just reading the chat here. Sorry, I'm just trying to get caught up here. But yeah, the EyeSight. When I don't know if you ever watched the thing that when I got it, the shipping damage, but the way they packed it, they literally just had a very, very thin box. They had it upside down, so it'd be on the top of the iMac. That's the way it was. And they just had bubble pack in her. That's it. They didn't brace it in there. They had it upside down. And the thing, when I got it, when I came home from work, I saw half of it hanging out of the box. And my heart just sank. I go, oh man, this thing, there's no way this thing survived it. So when I opened it up, sure enough, that outer case was busted all up. And fortunately, the screen was okay. That's what I was really worried about. I thought the screen was going to be trashed, but it wasn't. And that really shocked me. I'm thinking, oh man, I got really lucky with that one. So what I did is the 2006 and the 2005 iMac, when they went from the G5 to the Intel dual-core processor, they used the same case. Excuse me. The only difference is at the very bottom of it, where the RAM goes up into the computer, the slots are a little different on the bottom. So, and what happens is if you flip that case around, you see a metal bracket on the bottom. And so what you have to do is you have to transfer that bracket off the G5 onto the 2006 Intel one, and it will have the right slots in it. That's the only difference. And obviously the screw holes on the bottom, most of them line up. There's just one that really doesn't line up. And so that works out great. So that was a lot of fun getting that off. I used heat and a big utility putty knife, a metal one, and just very slowly worked it because I didn't want to crack that replacement case. And so I was able to get that off. I transferred it over. And you're right, absolutely, geek with social skills. Let's see here, show. They got to take the time to pack it properly, and had they had done it properly, it wouldn't have got damaged on that. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, you just take the time to do it right. Me personally, if you look on a box, that little on the bottom of the box, on the bottom of the flap, there is information on the box. So there's crush weight, the dimensions on it, and so look at the crush weight. And so if it's like, say the crush weight is 60 pounds, what they're referring to is on the corner. If the box is sealed on the corner, that's the crush rate. So I always double box. I always take and I slide it in, and the inner box, and then when I get it down in there, I'll use like a little bit of baby powder, and it slips right in there, and then I will glue the flaps together on the bottom. Makes for a very, very strong box. And yes, you can also do the spray foam on it too, absolutely. And I'm going to display that here. And that's the thing. You might pay a few bucks more for it, but yeah, you can do the spray foam in there, and that way it doesn't rattle or anything. Because my wife and me used to own a shipping business many years ago, and we used to ship anywhere in the United States and pretty much anywhere on the planet. We had access to any means of shipping, by rail, by air, by land, by sea. Depends on where it was going. And you had to make sure that it was packed properly. You had to put the right insurance on it. And so whenever I ship something, I always make sure that it's going to get there in one piece, even if it was dropped off a 2-story building. Hopefully it will survive. Not always, but like on the Imac G5s, or G3, G5s, but like the G3 all-in-one here, basically those, the way to ship those is foam it. You have it in a real sturdy box, you have a real solid platform on it, and have them foam it. And that way, that's going to be the best way for that thing to get there in one piece. So yeah. I mean, I just can't stress packing it up properly. Shipping damage, that's one of my pet peeves. Just people just don't take the time to ship it. They just throw it in a box, send it. They don't care how fragile it is. Yep. So anyway, getting back to the G5, like I said, I made the transplant on that. I put that new inner metal bezel in it. And then, but the problem I had with it, though, it had a lot of scratches in it. So I took, and it took me about a couple of days really to polish that cover back up, because it's an acrylic case actually, and it's got a little flex to it, but it's also got like a polycarbonate film on the inside of it too. It's kind of interesting. Gives it the white background behind it. But anyway, that got all polished up, and then I did a light mod on it with the Apple logo on the front. I put a light in behind it, so now it lights up when it boots up, just like what I did with the Cube. I thought those should have lights on them, and I try to make it look pretty factory when it lights up. Sean from Action Retro, he likes his Cube with the RGB lights. I went for the classic mode of it, and I just did something more conventional that looked more like something Apple would have did. Nothing against RGB. I like RGB. It's fine, but it's just personal preference. Let's see. I'm gonna highlight. So I'm going to put this up here. Let me share this here with everybody. I recycle Apple Mac. I bought a lot of Mac G3s from the US to Canada, and 90% of them came in damaged, if not crushed. And that's sad. Again, if somebody would take the time to have somebody pack it for them, if they didn't feel comfortable, have it professionally packed, yeah, it's going to cost you a few more bucks. And a lot of times the sellers will say, hey, well, I'll have this professionally packed if you're going to kick in extra for the shipping. And most of them will do that because they know how easily this plastic gets broken. I mean, nature, it gets brittle anyway. It doesn't need any help getting banged around the shipping service. But yeah, so, but anyway, the G5 works fine, no problem. Oh, let's see here. Let me go up here real quick here. Let me just show Fred Rayner's comment here. It'd be easier for me to read it here. So last night, Steve of Mac84 advised me from not buying a Color Classic from Japan, even with a higher shipper. Do you? You know, basically, what you can do is you might request them to make sure that they insure it. And the reason why I say that is because if it gets damaged, at least you're going to get your money back for the shipping and the machine. So that way it protects both of you, actually. It protects you and the seller. But I always have them put insurance on it. I always insure my stuff because I just don't want to take the risk. Because then if it gets broken, then you're pretty much out of luck. Unless the seller wants to refund the money back to you. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, we have to deal with. Basically the way I equate the G3 iMacs, it's kind of like shipping an egg, all right? If you don't pack an egg very good, it's going to be scrambled when it gets to you. So just kind of use that analogy. And I think you look at it at a different perspective as far as how to treat it. Now, what I did when I shipped that G5, excuse me, I keep saying G5, G3 to a DOS dude, since there was no inner bezel and no cases, just the basic polycarbonate skeleton frame that just holds it in there. I wire tied everything all together in there, and I actually shipped the CRT face down, and it had a big piece of foam about this thick and about that wide and about that high. And then what I did is I put a lot of bracing inside there, so even if they flip that box over, it's not going to break the neck off of the picture tube. And it took me probably an hour to put all the inner stuff in there, but it was well worth it because that way it got there in one piece. Because as you know, those necks on those tubes, they're broke. You're done. You got to get another tube for it. You can still get tubes for them, but it's a lot harder than it is because they don't make any new ones anymore. But you know, they made so many of them. They're still pretty plentiful. I find them online all the time. But yeah. Let's see here. That's right, and that's very good. I'm going to highlight your comment here real quick here. That is very good, and this is well stated. Geek with Social Skills just said on there, and that's the motto that I live by. Is always use a pro packing. That way, there's insurance. If there's an insurance claim, they can't say that packaging was the issue. And that's how I do it. I mean, I used to own a shipping company, so I know how to pack it. I'm not worried, but I still insure it. But if there's something, like if I was shipping it to another country, absolutely, I will take it to them, and I'll make them pack it up for me, and I'll tell them how I want it packed. It might cost me $20-30 more, but it's well worth it. Gives you, again, you and the buyer, peace of mind. Because as you know, there's no worse feeling than when you get the thing and it's all busted up. And so, yeah, I mean, we could talk for hours on shipping horror stories, that's for sure. But anyway, yeah, I just, you know, like I said, I've got some projects in the works, and there's some things that are going to be happening here pretty soon that I'm not at liberty to talk about. But you all will find out here eventually. And so, yeah, you know, I really appreciate everybody dropping by too. It makes me feel good that at least 6 people had interest. I mean, I keep getting people and losing people. I think we're up to about 8 at one time. But it is what it is. So. But like I said, my next goal is I'll be working on a little bit better of an audio system, and that'll give me a little bit more control on some things here. As far as the video part of it, I think this little webcam's working pretty good. The only thing that's better is if I'm using my iPhone on Camino, and you know, I always shoot in 4K on that, and that's crystal clear. And like I said earlier, it's hard. You'd be very hard to find a webcam that could equal your phones these days. The phones have such fantastic cameras on them. I mean, they rival some of the $10,000, $20,000 SLR cameras out there. A lot of people shoot on them. I mean, I plan on upgrading my phone here, hopefully this fall as well. It's had it going on 3 years. It's still a great phone, but I want to step it up a little bit. And yeah, I just want to get a little newer phone. Nothing wrong with the one I got. Okay, Geek with Social Skills. I'm sorry, I cannot talk today. All right, Geek with Social Skills. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I know how laundry is. We all have to do that every now and then. So you have a great rest of your Sunday. and good rest of your next week. And so anyway, and then one other thing is, hey, swear, come up here, come up here. Hold on just a second. Let me get this out of the way here. Get up here, Smart. Hold on just a second here. Hold on. Let's move this out of the way here. Now, I actually still have the very first Imac G5 slot load. I have the slot load. I have the graphite one. Let me move the cover on it here. Hold on. All right, so let me move the camera here. I apologize. Gonna go for another ride here. Hold on just a second. Okay. So there it is over there. Let me see if I can zoom in on here because I'm out of cord here. Hold on just a second. Let me if I can zoom in here. That's all the zoom we're going to get here. But anyway, they're just sitting over there. That's my very first Imac G5, and it's sitting over there. But it's been modded too. And what happened is many years ago, before I really got into repairing these things, is now that I know what it is, now that I know what the issue was, because my daughter used it for a long time, and I had it stored underneath the house for a couple years, all wrapped up and everything, and then I took and went to power it up, and it wouldn't power up anymore. And so anyway, I got the bright idea, well, hey, let's take and let's do some modifications on it. So what I did, get this all back here. There we go. Get this all zoomed back out here. There we go. All right. So anyway, what I did is I pretty much gutted it. And what I did is I took the, again, I took a Mac Mini. This was a 2004 Mac Mini. And I got an Apple AGC display. It's the studio one. It's the 15-inch. And without modifying the bezel, I was able to get that in there. And a little creative engineering. And it still has the original inner bezel, which is absolutely no cracks on it. And then I mounted the Mac Mini up underneath of it so we could still use the slot load. It still uses the same speakers. It still uses the power button. And the audio headphone jacks work on it. I had to do a little creative wiring on it. I wired the harness to it. And so, yeah, and I did a, let's see, gosh, it's been a long time since I did that, but it's on YouTube. You can look at it. And so anyway, yeah, and it works just fine. I have Lion on it. That's the last version you can run on it. Actually, you can run Mountain Lion on it, because I have ran Mountain Lion on it. There's a hack for it, but I just went ahead and put it back on Lion there. But it, yeah, so got rid of the CRT, and I think I sold all the parts actually, because the monitor was fine in it. It wasn't burnt or anything. Sold the drives out of it, sold the optical drive. Wouldn't do that today. I'd hang on to all that stuff. But yeah, it's, you know, some people call it sleeper PCs because you're putting innards of another machine in it, but it's all Mac parts in it. So I don't look at it as a sleeper PC because it still has all Mac parts in it. It's got a Mac display, studio display in it. It's got a Mac Mini in there. It's got well, not all the hardware. It's got an Apple AGC adapter in it to run the monitor. Yeah, so I still have that one. Now, had I been working on these a little bit more back in the day, I probably would have got a new power down board for it, because I think that's probably what all it was, the power down board on it. Wouldn't let it boot up. But, you know, the G3s, they're pretty bulletproof. They really are. They're a great machine. And a lot of people love them today because obviously all the color choices they had, and it was the revolutionary thing because you could take it out of the box and get right on the internet. You couldn't do that with a Commodore 64 or something like that. You have to go all this code and type and everything, commands and stuff, and most people don't want to do that. They want to get on and plug it in and have fun. So that's why I gravitated toward it. But anyway, so, and of course then I have my cube up there on the shelf there. And I certainly enjoy doing that. But like I said, the next video I'm going to do, we're going to be trying to get an HD movie off of that thing. We'll see how it works. Haven't tried that yet. So that'll be a lot of fun trying to get that thing to do it. But yeah. So anyway, you know, guys, I don't know how long I've been on here. It's been over an hour. So anyway, I think we're going to wrap this up. Anybody want to ask any more questions before we wrap up for the day here? I mean, I really have a hard time talking today. Weather-wise, beautiful day today, not smoky. Supposed to get up about 95 today, but we're inside because we have air conditioning. I don't like it. About 80 degrees is hot enough for me outdoors. I start looking for air conditioning at that time. And I do want to mention some channels out there. Of course, Steve at Mac84, great channel. He always has very good content. Give him a look. Mike from Mike's Mac Shack, he's got a fantastic channel. He does a lot of interesting stuff. Jay from House of Moth, great channel. Bruce Brankus from Brankus Creations, he has a fantastic channel. He's trying to get that brand new Macintosh 2 keyboard going there. And so, and then of course, Jay from House of Moth, if I hadn't said his name already, check him out. Of course, Mac-Yak, they're there every Thursday night, and great show to watch. Absolutely. And then also my friend Action Retro, Sean there. Gosh, he just does some incredible stuff there. So anyway, yeah, so I guess I think this is going to be it. Thank you very much, Sad Mac. You've been here for the whole time. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you stopping by. And again, I just want to give a quick thanks to everybody that was here. Geek with Social Skills, Frederick Rayner, thank you very much. Eric Smith, and I Recycle Apple Max, thank you very much. And yeah, so all right, well, you guys, you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope everything goes good for everybody. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Should have it up next day or two. Thank you very much. Bye.